first inspired to become an engineer because of my home region's rich engineering heritage. Teesside, in the northeast of England, was the birthplace of the passenger railway in 1825, and the region's engineers are behind the likes of the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Wembley Stadium Arch. I found it amazing as a school student that my small and often overlooked part of England had made such a great contribution to the world. Engineering moves me because of its ability to improve the lives of people and the health of our planet. As the son of an inspired geography teacher, I spent much of my childhood growing up in different parts of the world. It is here that I witnessed climate change firsthand, and it gave me a great appreciation for the challenges that we face. I witnessed the terrifying water stress in the city of Cape Town, the colossal impact of urban sprawl in the city of Guangzhou. I lived through chronic power outages on the island of Zanzibar, and I witnessed the roaring force of climate change along the Mekong River. Engineering has this amazing potential to change the world for the better, and I decided to be part of that. I decided to become an engineer. I immediately fired up UCAS, and I eventually found myself studying civil and environmental engineering at Imperial College London. I was over the moon, and I could not wait to start. University, however, was not what I expected. After a year of endless study, I was thoroughly through with engineering. I was not inspired. I did not want to change the world, and it was simply not worth my time or my effort. That summer, I thought long and hard about what had went wrong. Had I lacked passion? Had I not put the effort in? Or was I simply not cut out to be an engineer? I decided to double down, and I returned to Imperial for a second year of study. This is when I joined the Imperial Engineers Without Borders Student Society, and I met similarly motivated students, hungry for change and passionate about the impact that engineering can have. It is here that I realised, rather than igniting my fiery passion for the impact of engineering, an overload of lectures, coursework and exams had thoroughly doused my spark. With this newfound bunch of changemakers, my first thought was, let's fix this disconnect and let's inspire students again. We held design-a-thons, workshops, talked with academics and those in industry, and we facilitated project groups such as in the likes of the C40 Cities Students Reinventing Cities competition. I'm sure in this room we all believe that in order to face and tackle the true challenges of our time, we need engineers. But I go one step further. I believe that we need engineers that can stand on their own 2 feet. We need engineers who can lead and make decisions. We need engineers that can hold themselves in a room, voice their opinions and be heard. And we need engineers that are inspired about the world of tomorrow. And crucially, we need engineers that know themselves. In my opinion, we're not arming engineering students with the critical skills that they need and the ability to advocate for how we engineer the future. The way we are taught simply does not fulfill that need, in my opinion. And that's because, whilst being an engineering student is not easy, it's incredibly comfortable. In the morning, I sit myself down in lectures, open my notebook, and I jot down a few things. Then on an afternoon, I head to the library and complete some problem sheets. At the end of term, I lock myself away and I can complete an endless heap of past papers. I get to the exam, I punch a few numbers, recall a few facts, and I wait to be handed another A grade. I've learnt how to play the game, and I'm calling upon you to change the recall and remember routine. Now, of course, the technical knowledge is vital, but in this cycle, we have lost vision of the greater picture. We're failing to enrich tomorrow's engineers with the critical skills that they need. And I'd like to draw your attention to 2 things at Imperial which I think are particularly powerful. The first, Imperial offers all of its students the chance to take part in a Horizons module. It's an additional module which lets students study a language, a business study or a humanity alongside their degree. It's a great way to extend their learning beyond engineering, and that's very powerful in itself. But when it came to choosing my 3rd year Horizons module, I thought to myself, Patrick, you're not taking a module that requires an exam or an essay, as interesting as they look, because that won't challenge you. and so I restricted my choice to those which focus assessment on presentation, pitching, debate, or video production. I'm calling on you to break the homogeneity of assessment, and I'd like to see this applied in the field of engineering. The second thing that I'd like to draw your attention to is a student-led initiative at Imperial called Imperial Plus. At Imperial Plus, we aim to connect the dots and encourage collaboration rather than competition between different communities at the university. We started off as a group and a coming together of the university's climate societies, Engineers Without Borders, Imperial Climate Entrepreneurs, Environmental Society, and Imperial Climate Action. But we've soon expanded to work with the Grantham Institute on Climate Change and the Environment, Imperial Zero Pollution, Imperial Student Union, and Felix, the student newspaper. At Imperial Plus, we challenge ourselves with breaking down these institutional silos. We challenge ourselves with bringing wider system change to Imperial degrees. And one way in which we're doing this is mapping the UN Sustainable Development Goals and the World Economic Forum's Future of Jobs report to modules, of which there are more than 3,000. In preliminary findings, we discovered that 4% of modules refer to the Sustainable Development Goal of climate action. And further, we found that 50% of modules could not be mapped to the skills on the Future of Jobs report. Now, this is a systems change lab, and today is all about exploration. But you can't let it just be today. You must be brave in routinely pushing, designing, delivering change to your degrees. You should engage with Engineers Without Borders, and you should check out the reimagined degree map. Now, I was invited to speak at the Systems Change Lab a few weeks ago by Emma Crichton, and I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to do so. But to be honest, this is an entirely new experience for myself. I might experience the education system every day, but I can see and feel that change is needed. I'm a third-year engineer, not a keynote, and certainly not someone with the authority to tell you how to reform engineering education. It is you in the room that have that power, and you must recognise your power and the responsibility that comes with it. Whilst I'm not a keynote, I am a proud son of 2 teachers, and I'm immensely proud to call myself an engineer. And as an engineer, I would be inclined to say, engineering is the most powerful force in which to change the world. But my mother would say, Patrick, you're forgetting the education that got you there. And so I close my keynote today by paraphrasing Nelson Mandela. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And I believe that is especially true if you're educating engineers. Thank you.